What's up, mga papi?
What's up mga papi? For today, it's gonna be a commentary on a match that I had on DB, and I'm planning to do this regularly maybe. It's gonna be me on Virtual World versus a guy who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! On Prankids. He has 469 XP rating on 13 XP, and I have 481 rating on 72 XP because I've only started playing for a little bit. So I've jumped from 100 to 481 really quickly. I want to get to the higher rated so that I can face, better opponents. Trying to get to 1k soon. Yeah, so let's get right into it. He wins the rock, paper, scissors, and we go to the main phase. He starts his turn, he normal summons drops, and I'm happy that I have Ash, because if he doesn't have an extender, then he's just gonna pass. So let's see what's gonna happen. He summons Meow and activates drop, and of course I drop Ash on that, and he just passes. So that's the problem with Prankids right now. If they get stopped on their normal summon, they just can't do anything. But if they do pop off, then it's gonna be really hard to stop them. Activate Kowloon because it's the best one to start with, and I didn't really have to bait a lot since I have Nyan to normal and GG to activate, and then Lulu as well, so I could pop off and get the spell to the graveyard even if this gets ashed. But he doesn't have Ash, so I'm gonna put Chuche face up and get the Lulu to dump the spell and add Lao Lao. I added Lao Lao because, it's the best extender. Helps you push through Nib after you call light on VFD. So, yeah. So you get Lulu out, banish the spell to add one. I add Lily so that I basically have everything that I need, every monster name. So I have to dump one, so I'm gonna dump Nyan, which is where it needs to be. It has to be in the graveyard. So GG gets summoned out, and it has an effect on the end phase as well. So dump the trap, and now Nyan is gonna trigger from the graveyard. It's gonna be a tuner, so I put a counter on it just to signify that. And then I use those two to go into Stardust. The reason I did that is because I wanted to draw one, and since I have Lulu, I didn't need another tuner, and this is gonna be a Synchro 9, which is gonna be Croc and another draw. So that's just Spot of Greed for free, since I'm trying to climb to level 9 anyways. So draw one. He doesn't have Ash, so I'm just gonna continue drawing. I Synchro 9 to Croc, and I draw another one. So I didn't to Lao Lao. The Nib was good, so if I don't kill him this turn, I have Ash and Nib, so that's amazing. Lao Lao is not that good because I already had Lao Lao, but at this point, I couldn't really ask for more, to be honest. I summon out Lily, and the reason why I did that is because, again, I want to save Lao Lao for after he maybe nibs or something like that. So I dump two. That's gonna be Nyan in the spell, King Long. Really good follow up here since if we remember, we activated GG, so we're gonna be able to add Lulu from graveyard during the end phase, and for the next turn we have King Long for a search and Nyan for the graveyard effect. Yeah, so I banished the trap to increase Lily so that this could be 2 level 9s and I can go for VFD. So VFD, I activate VFD here, and then I call light so that I can play without worrying about Nibiru. But he chains Veiler, so here I'm already suspecting that he has Nibiru, but I had to bait it out. If I could, I could have probably just used, but go into battle phase and deal some damage. But I wanted to bait it out, see if he actually had it. So I summon Lao Lao and dump Nyan to summon back the GG, and fair enough, on res, he's gonna activate Nib, so it's gonna tribute everything. So I'm gonna have a token. But at this point, I didn't really care because I knew that he was on Prankins, and he's on 3 cards after he draws, and I'm gonna have Ash and Nib, so I don't think it's gonna be a big problem since I also have Chuche with ammo in the banished zone. So I didn't really mind the Nib, so I just pass turn and add Lulu in the end phase. So he draws main phase 1, he goes Roxy's, and I could have used Chuche here, but I don't think I will because I have Ash, right? Like, he could just go into Meow Meow and I can just Ash that. Well, not the Meow Meow, but the Roxy. So he activates Rock and I Chain Ash. He activates Pranks. So I was trying to save this for an extender if he had a fusion spell or something like that, so that I could just pop it. But he didn't. So during the end phase, he's gonna activate Pranks, and I just use Shoe Chase since it's gonna be my turn anyways, so that he doesn't get a draw and get to shuffle back his monsters. I shuffle those two back. Wanted to keep Nyan in the banished zone because it can be brought back to the graveyard by Shen Shen. So that gets destroyed. During my turn, this is basically game, but he chooses not to admit defeat. Fair enough, I guess. So I add Lily to dump the King Long just for another follow-up if the game goes to another turn. So Chuche effect to shuffle back 2 to destroy Nib. This time I'm just clearing the board to go for game since I have a token with 5, 8, and 6k. So just trying to summon as little monsters as I could to try to play around Nib, but yeah, let's see if it's gonna be enough. That's 3 summons right there. So this is gonna be the 4th. I activate Break Sword and Break Sword effect to pop that, and then I go into battle phase. So I played around Nib there since it was just what, like 4 summons. So even if he had Nib, I wouldn't be hit with that. So I attack for game basically since there's a 5, 8, 2k and 1, 8. Next game. So he's obviously gonna go first, so I sided in a few stuff for it, but I didn't draw any of the sides. I think I put in 3 twisters because Pandemonium cannot be activated in the standby phase or in the draw phase. It could only be activated in the main phase. So if he sets Pandemonium, then I can just use Twister in the standby phase so that he doesn't get his Butler. So that basically kills like most of his plays unless he sided in like Floodgates or something crazy. So it activates Place, and this is actually weird because I have Ash and Gamma. I wanted to Ash this, but I was thinking if I Ash this, he might normal summon and then he might have another normal summon and, you know, be able to pop off. And I was just thinking, will he be able to chain block? So I was thinking about that for a second, so that's why I wanted to think about whether or not to Ash this card. I didn't know what he had, so I just tried to understand the card and I read it. You can have all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack. And that's when I realized that no, he couldn't chain block it because you can't activate an effect that will not do anything. So his graveyard effect for his normal summon is still gonna be chainable. Hence I would be able to use Ash on it. So I just let that go through. He gets Roxy's. So he normal summons Roxy's and goes into the typical Meow Meow, and then I Ash that. And this is the first time I've seen it. Well, actually not the first time I've seen it with other Prankins players, but in DB, this is the first time that I've seen someone use Fusion or Second Plant. Everyone's just been on the normal summon build. So he uses that to discard Nib. Pretty brave, I guess. So he gets Poly. Then I'm pretty sure he's gonna have an extender here. So yeah, he uses Meow Meow and drops these in the grave. So he summons Rocket Ride. So here's another dilemma. He's gonna be able to use Dropsies in the grave, but I didn't chain Gamma here. I'm pretty sure I didn't chain Gamma here because he could just Rocket Ride into 2 more monsters and he just go to Doodle Doo. So I wait for him to summon Fancies. So he's gonna use Rocket Ride to summon 2, and I'm gonna chain Gamma to that so that he doesn't have 3 monsters on board. So yeah, so he didn't have another extender. I mean, it would be crazy if he had Instant Fusion as well. If he had that, he's gonna be able to go into Doodle Doo and just pop off. So end phase, he's gonna add Dropsies since he used that as material. So at this point, I know that he has Dropsies, and this is the only thing he has on board. The only thing I don't know is the set card. So I'm comfortable in using Kowloon because I can just resolve it since I know that he doesn't have Ash, and Ash is pretty much the only thing that stops this. So yep, I get Chuche, and then this is actually really good to open since you can just dump 2, and that's actually the 2 things that you need in your graveyard. King Long for the search, and Nyan for the graveyard effect. So that's really crazy actually. Lily is gonna be really good. King Long, banish itself to add Lulu. Again, of course, I add Lulu because it can just add another one. So King Long is crazy because you just add Lulu and then you summon Lulu to add another monster, which is gonna be Lao Lao. And Lao Lao can summon from the graveyard, so that's insane. Like 1, 2, Lao Lao for the third, and Lao Lao summons another one for the fourth extender. And if you have Nyan in grave, that could be 5 basically. If you have the space on board. I had to dump, of course, and then I summoned Lulu, target the trap. Dump the other King Long for follow-up next turn. Add the Lao Lao, of course, since the best extender in the deck. Summon Nyan using the graveyard effect. And I was thinking here, but the only play here was to actually synchro Nyan. I use Nyan to go into Vermilion. Since I went into Vermilion because I had Ash in grave, so I can just banish that for free. And I didn't need to banish a virtual world monster since I already had 2 in the banished zone, so I had ammo for Chuche. Vermilion to banish Ash and pop the set. It was Droplet. He didn't want to use it. I guess he was thinking it wasn't going to be game, so that he didn't want to have the attack of this. But yeah, I guess that's also fine because he's going to have to send a monster and he's not going to have a lot of follow-up after that if he change Droplet there. So I summon Lao Lao. At this point, it's like balls to the wall. If he has Nib, then it is what it is. That's what I was thinking. But I realized that he has Dropsies because he added it off of this guy. So there was nothing to worry about actually. So I go into Lily because I didn't have anyone else in the graveyard. But that's actually perfect because I can just go into Synchro 6. I meant XE6. So I'm going to Beyond because it has the most attack. Obviously there's no one in attack position, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go into Battle Phase. Vermilion attack that guy. Attack for 4-6 total. And this is enough because I'm going to be able to make Zeus with 2 cents. And I have a Chuche pop. So he has Dropsies and I know that he has Dropsies. So I can just normal summon it and I'm just gonna pop it, right? So yeah, he's not gonna be able to go into Meow Meow. If he had an extender, then that's just crazy. But I'm just gonna be able to go Utopia Beyond anyways. Not Utopia Beyond, but Zeus. So I overlay into Gaia to have another material and then go Zeus. So it has 4 materials now. That's 2 cents. So yeah, this is pretty much game. He just doesn't admit defeat yet. He uses Recycling Plant to discard Ash. That's a bait, and I knew it. And I knew that he was not going to be able to do anything since you add Poly, you have 1 monster. It doesn't matter. So he adds Poly, normal summons, I'm pretty sure. There you go. He normal summons drop, and I just pop it with Chuche. And that's a game. Yeah, so I guess I was pretty lucky with some hands, but yeah, I guess he didn't draw some of his sides, or maybe he didn't side anything. I think I noticed that he didn't take a lot of time siding, so I'm pretty sure he had his going first thing stuck in his main deck. So yeah, he could have maybe sided, I don't know, Lancia or some stuff like that, but that would hinder Meow Meow, I guess. So that's pretty much it for the match. Yeah,